Hey guys, it's Spike here. You could probably guess that this will be a couple part video because I got a pretty long message from a Christian regarding my latest video, Do I Deserve Hell? And I think I want to provide some insight on what he said and my opinions and answering some of his questions toward me. I know that his manners may be very similar to the manner in which another Christian might attempt to tell me that yes, I am going to go to hell, and I do. That is precisely God's justice. So I'm going to be responding to some of what he said, to all of what he said, because of its relevance to a lot of Christian arguments, and that it's very common. Okay. Hey Spike, before I answer your questions, I have a couple of questions for you. First of all, since there is no God, according to your beliefs, why question whether or not you are going to hell? That's not what I said. I questioned whether I deserved to go to hell. I know I'm not going to hell because I believe there is no hell. And, I know there is no hell, most likely. I think it's physically possible, but very, very improbable. So, my worry is with the belief of hell, not with the actual me going to hell. Okay? Also, if there is no God, then where do you think the desire to love your neighbors or do good unto others comes from? Well, there is an evolutionary explanation for that it actually benefits us, but that's not exactly, a happy thing to believe necessarily. It's true, but I think what it really is I believe that everything good you do, in one way or another, will come back to you in a practical way. As in, bad things can still happen to you if you're good, but if you're good to other people, then that will help you. And also, in the same manner, I feel like if people just all follow suit, that I would be happier if other people did that. My kids would be happier if people, took on that attitude. So by taking it on myself, I am setting a positive example. This has nothing to do with God. This has to do with the fact that I want the world to be a better place. I don't need anything supernatural to tell me that. Or where does the guilt come from when we know that we are not doing good unto others, or we are just looking out for ourselves? If there is no, and yeah, that's the same answer. The guilt comes from, our empathy. We're built in with empathy, so therefore we feel guilt because we feel like we're not doing good for the world, and we feel, like we're harming other people. We've been in that situation, we understand that situation, and we realize that what we've done to other people is not right. If there is no God, how can there be a set of standards for any real truth? Why not just look out for yourself? Why do you believe in being a good person? Well, there's not a set of standards. Well, all there really is just doing what you think is best for the world around you, and trying to be honest with that. Trying to be honest with knowing what you honestly think is better for the world around you, and then doing that. It doesn't have to be a set standard. It doesn't have to follow any necessary, law. You just have to do what you honestly think will most help the people around you. And why not just look out for myself? Again, it will just harm me. I'll be seen as selfish. You can't manipulate people like that. It doesn't actually work. You be a good person because A, it'll come back to you, and B, we do have that guilt inside us. It comes from evolution. It doesn't come from God, at least in my view. We do have that guilt, and we do care about people. At least I do, and for that reason I don't look out for myself, because it will not benefit me either. And same thing with being a good person, is that it benefits others. It makes the world a better place. We only have one life, so why not do that? I would also like to make a response to a statement you made. You said that people do not know whether or not you, being an atheist, will go to hell. You said that it was rather arrogant for people to say that they did know this. I want to say that I believe the way that I do because of the Bible. The Bible answers the question that you were asking, and I am not answering in arrogance, but in confidence that the Bible is true. You can ask why you're confident about that. If you want to respond to this, you can. Probably with a message or a comment, because you don't, make videos, I don't believe. But why are you confident of that? And yes, I do think it's arrogant. You know, you can say that it's true in the Bible, but there are so many different interpretations. So many. And even still, I think it's arrogant for people to not take into account all of what I've been through in life, all of that. They don't know that. They don't know what God will decide. If there is a God, it's much less, you know, even if there is a God, you don't know what he will decide for my specific case or my specific situation. It's not as black and white, even in Christianity, as all atheists go to hell and all Christians go to heaven. I would have a lot less of a problem with the Christians saying, according to my beliefs, you will very likely go to hell. That sort of thing is not so arrogant, but saying that you know for a fact that I am going to hell, yes, that is very arrogant, even if you do believe in the Bible. Now, according to what the Bible says, I will address your questions. These answers might be offensive to you, but you asked for honest answers. I did ask for honest answers. Unless you say, you stupid God-hating atheist, I hope you burn for eternity in the eternal flame. You know, as long as you're not saying stuff like that, I'm not going to be offended with an honest answer. That's exactly what I asked for. I will be backing up what I say with Bible verses. Super. Verses from a book I don't believe in. You made the claims that you love your neighbor and put others first and all of that stuff Christians believe in. You don't believe in God, but you follow many of the Christian practices. Therefore, God might have some reason to let you into heaven. Yes, he should have reason to let me into heaven. I'm a good person. You're a pretty good person. Okay. Isaiah 64:6. All of us have become like one who is unclean, and all our righteous acts are like filthy rags. Now this verse basically tells us that any good thing that we do is like a filthy rag in the eyes of God. Super. But believing in him means much more than that. You may or may not know this, but the Bible was originally written in Hebrew and Greek, Koine Greek, I believe, right? And oftentimes the Hebrew and Greek words are more descriptive than our translations can be. This is not to say that our American Bibles have been mistranslated. Yes, they have. Our American Bibles have the same messages and points. They just use different wordings. I don't want to be gross. Go ahead, dude. But for the sake of my argument, the original wording for a filthy rag was a menstrual cloth. Not only are our good deeds like plain dirty rags to God, they're also like dirty menstrual cloths. So I have blood on my good deeds. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying, that good deeds aren't that great, but I guess it's all a matter of comparison. You know, how much does our good deeds compare to the goodness of the Lord, right? But still, I think that's an exaggeration. I think the idea is good deeds alone. You know, if we have, and this is how I interpret it, but if our thoughts are bad, but our deeds are good, then they mean nothing because they're not sincere. You know, so there are many, that's just an interpretation. Your interpretation is not necessarily the only interpretation, and I think you need to understand that. It's what you believe. So, yeah, I will be doing the second part just as a response. Just hold on, I'm not sure when I'll do it, but I will respond. This is not it at all, but okay.